every action you take, every decision you make, every habit you build, these are the things shaping your future right now. Whether you realize it or not, your daily choices are carving the path ahead of you. It's not fate, luck, or some external force that determines where you end up. It's you. It's what you do when you wake up in the morning, how you handle challenges, and what level of effort you bring to the table when no one is looking. The truth is, we don't just wake up one day successful. We don't suddenly become great leaders, top athletes, powerful entrepreneurs, or extraordinary individuals by accident. It happens because of the small, seemingly insignificant decisions we make every single day. It happens because we choose to show up, to push forward, to discipline ourselves even when the rewards aren't immediate. Think about the most successful people in any industry. The best athletes don't train only when they feel like it. They don't skip the gym when it's raining, when they're tired, or when no one is around to push them. They train because they know that every single session counts. The best business minds don't only work when inspiration strikes. They don't take action only when they're in the mood. They build routines, systems, and habits that keep them moving forward no matter what. Now, let's talk about you. Right now, at this very moment, you are building your destiny through your actions. If you decide to put things off until tomorrow, that decision will shape your future. If you tell yourself you'll start working harder next week, that mindset is defining where you'll end up. On the other hand, if you choose to give it everything you have today, if you commit to growth, discipline, and perseverance, you're setting yourself up for success. You can't cheat the process. You can't fake discipline. You can't expect to take shortcuts and still win. Because life has a way of exposing you. Eventually, the truth always comes out. If you're not doing the work, it will show. If you're not putting in the effort, it will be obvious. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness, and you'll see one thing in common: consistency. Not motivation, not talent, not luck, but an unwavering commitment to showing up and doing the work even on the days when they don't feel like it. Every single choice you make is like a brick. If you lay bricks every day with care, discipline, and focus, you will eventually build something strong and powerful. But if you're lazy with it, if you skip days, if you cut corners, your foundation will be weak. And when the storm comes, you won't be able to stand tall. The question is, what kind of foundation are you building? Are you making choices that will lead you to success, or are you making excuses? Are you committing to growth, or are you letting distractions pull you away from your goals? There are no neutral actions. Every single thing you do is either moving you closer to your destiny or pulling you further away from it. Every decision either strengthens your future or weakens it. You can't escape the consequences of your own choices. Some people live their lives in denial of this fact. They think they can cut corners, skip the hard work, and still get ahead. But the truth is, life doesn't work that way. Sooner or later, reality catches up. You can't expect to become great without effort. You can't expect success if you're not willing to sacrifice, commit, and put in the work. Right now, at this very moment, you are at a crossroads. Every second that passes is an opportunity to move toward your goals or away from them. If you're not where you want to be in life, it's not because of bad luck or unfair circumstances. It's because of the choices you've made up to this point. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually great news, because it means you have the power to change it. The moment you take full responsibility for your actions, everything changes. The moment you stop blaming external factors and start owning your choices, you take control of your future. Because if your actions define your destiny, that means you get to decide where you're going. If you want success, start acting like the person who deserves it. If you want greatness, start making the choices that lead to it. If you want a better life, stop waiting for it to come to you and start creating it through your daily habits, discipline, and commitment. Every action counts. Every decision matters. Everything you do today is shaping the person you will become tomorrow. There is a force in this world that watches, measures, and responds to your level of effort. Call it God, call it fate, call it energy. Whatever you believe in, understand this. Nothing goes unnoticed. The work you put in, the sacrifices you make, the discipline you uphold when no one is watching, it all matters. The universe has a way of rewarding those who refuse to quit, those who keep pushing no matter how hard it gets, those who do what needs to be done even when they don't feel like it. Most people only push when they see immediate results. They start something, they go hard for a few days, maybe a few weeks, but the moment they don't see instant rewards, they back off. They let doubt creep in. They convince themselves it's not working. They say, maybe this isn't meant for me, and that's exactly where they lose. That's exactly where they separate themselves from the people who actually make it. Because the universe isn't looking for people who put in half-hearted effort and expect overnight success. The universe rewards the relentless. It rewards the person who keeps pushing when everything around them says stop. It rewards the person who stays disciplined even when the progress is invisible. It rewards the person who trusts the process enough to keep going even when the results are nowhere in sight. Because what most people don't understand is that success isn't about what you do when things are easy. It's about what you do when things are hard. There are people right now grinding in silence, working their craft, building something that no one sees yet. There are people putting in the hours, showing up early, staying late, fine-tuning their skills in the dark while others sleep, complain, or wait for motivation to strike. And these are the people who will win. These are the people who, when the moment of opportunity finally arrives, will be ready. Because while everyone else was looking for shortcuts, they were putting in the work. The world doesn't reward effort in the way you expect it to. You don't always get a clear sign that what you're doing is working. You don't always get applause, validation, or reassurance along the way. But that doesn't mean the work is wasted. The process is happening. Growth is happening. Strength is being built. And at some point when you least expect it, the universe will deliver exactly what you've been working for. Most people never get there because they quit too soon. They give up when the results aren't immediate. They stop showing up because they assume nothing is happening. But what they don't realize is that breakthroughs don't happen on a schedule. You don't get to decide when the reward comes. You don't get to choose when the universe gives you what you deserve. You only get to choose how relentless you are in the pursuit of it. There are countless stories of people who were on the brink of quitting right before they made it. People who faced rejection, failure, obstacles, so massive they seemed impossible to overcome, but they didn't stop. They kept going when everything in their life told them to walk away. And because of that, they broke through. They got the deal. They landed the opportunity. They built the business. They became the champion, not because they were the most talented, not because they were the most gifted, but because they refused to quit. Think about the people who have accomplished extraordinary things. The best athletes, the best musicians, the best entrepreneurs, they all have one thing in common, an unbreakable will to keep going no matter what. It wasn't their talent alone that got them there. It wasn't their natural ability. It was their relentless work ethic. It was their refusal to accept anything less than success. The truth is, most people underestimate how much work is actually required to succeed. They think they can put in effort for a little while and see massive results. But that's not how it works. The universe tests you. It wants to see if you're serious. It wants to see if you have what it takes. And the only way to prove that is by staying in the game long after most people would have walked away. It doesn't matter how hard it gets. It doesn't matter how many setbacks you face. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. What matters is that you don't stop. What matters is that you keep going even when there's no sign of progress, even when it feels like nothing is working. Because that's the test. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. The ones who win are the ones who refuse to back down. The ones who win are the ones who show up every single day, no matter how they feel. The ones who win are the ones who understand that just because something isn't happening yet doesn't mean it won't happen. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They are the quiet whispers in your mind that tell you it's okay to settle, that convince you to wait for the right time, that give you permission to take it easy when you know you should be pushing harder. Excuses are seductive. They make you feel safe. They let you off the hook. But they are also the reason so many people never reach their full potential. Because every excuse you make is a lie designed to protect you from discomfort, from effort, from failure. You tell yourself you don't have time. That's a lie. If something truly mattered to you, you would make time. Look at the most successful people in the world. They have the same 24 hours as you. The difference? They don't waste theirs on distractions, on procrastination, on meaningless activities that do nothing to move them forward. They don't say, I'm too busy. They say, how can I make this work? You tell yourself you're too tired. That's a lie. You're not too tired to binge watch TV. You're not too tired to scroll through your phone. You're not too tired to hang out with friends. What you really mean is that you don't feel like doing the hard work. Because if you truly needed to, you would find the energy. If your life depended on it, you would push through the exhaustion. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that one group has more energy. It's that one group refuses to let fatigue be an excuse. You tell yourself you're not ready yet. That's a lie. You will never feel completely ready. You will never have all the information, all the skills, all the perfect circumstances lined up. And that's exactly why so many people stay stuck. They wait for the stars to align, for the fear to go away, for the perfect opportunity to show up. But the truth is, the perfect time never comes. If you wait until you feel ready, you will never start. The people who achieve great things are the ones who move forward despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, despite the imperfections. You tell yourself you don't have the resources, that's a lie. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a big budget. You don't need connections to start. You need resourcefulness. You need creativity. You need a willingness to work with what you have. Look at history. Some of the greatest entrepreneurs started with nothing. Some of the best athletes trained with outdated equipment. Some of the most talented artists worked with whatever supplies they could get their hands on. They didn't wait for better conditions. They started where they were and figured it out along the way. You tell yourself it's not your fault. That's a lie. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to fix your situation for you. If you're struggling, if you're stuck, if you're not where you want to be, the only person responsible is you. That doesn't mean life is fair. That doesn't mean you haven't faced real obstacles. But it does mean that as long as you blame external factors, you give away your power. Because the moment you accept full responsibility for your life, you gain the ability to change it. You tell yourself other people have it easier. That's a lie. Everyone faces challenges. Everyone struggles. Everyone has moments of doubt, fear, and hardship. But the people who succeed don't waste time comparing their struggles to others. They don't look at someone else's success and use it as an excuse to give up. Instead, they focus on what they can control. They focus on their own effort, their own growth, their own discipline. Because at the end of the day, comparing your situation to someone else's does nothing to move you forward. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. That's the biggest lie of them all. Tomorrow is just an illusion. It's a convenient way to justify inaction. Because deep down, you know that tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year. You know that putting things off is just another way of avoiding discomfort. And the problem is, every time you delay taking action, you reinforce the habit of procrastination. You train your brain to accept excuses. You make it easier and easier to put things off. Until one day you look back and realize you've wasted years waiting for the perfect moment that never came. Excuses feel good in the moment. They let you escape discomfort. They allow you to justify inaction. But they also rob you of progress, of growth, of success. The more you give in to them, the weaker you become. The more you challenge them, the stronger you get. Every time you push past an excuse, you build resilience. Every time you refuse to listen to the voice in your head that says, not today, you develop discipline. Every time you take action, despite not feeling like it, you separate yourself from the people who will never reach their goals. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's the ability to recognize excuses for what they are. Lies. Lies that keep you comfortable. Lies that keep you stuck. Lies that hold you back from becoming who you were meant to be. Most people think success happens in the spotlight. They believe champions are made on the field, that billionaires are created in boardrooms, that legends are born in front of audiences. But the truth is, greatness is built in the shadows. It's not what you do when people are watching that defines you. It's what you do when no one is watching. It's the work you put in when there's no recognition, no applause, no immediate payoff. The problem is most people want results without the grind. They want the reward without the struggle. They want to be great, but they don't want to do the work required when the cameras are off, when the stadiums are empty, when success feels like a distant dream. And that's exactly why most people never reach their full potential, because they underestimate the value of the work that happens behind the scenes. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. The world only sees them on race day. The crowd only watches them for a few minutes, maybe even seconds. But what they don't see, the thousands of hours spent training alone. The early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices, the days when their body aches, when they doubt themselves, when they wonder if it's even worth it. But they show up anyway. The greatness you see on the track, in the ring, on the field, that was built long before the moment of victory. Look at the most successful entrepreneurs. People assume they got lucky, that they had connections, that their rise was easy. What they don't see is the years of hard work before anyone knew their name. The long nights spent building a business from nothing. The failed ideas, the financial struggles, the moments of self-doubt. They weren't just handed success. They earned it in the moments no one else was paying attention. The truth is, the work you do in the dark always comes to light. The discipline you build in private will eventually be reflected in public. The habits you develop when no one is watching will determine whether you succeed when the moment of opportunity finally arrives. Because opportunity doesn't create success, it reveals it. Think about it like this. Imagine two people preparing for the same opportunity. One of them puts in the work every day, even when they don't feel like it. They practice, they study, they refine their craft. The other person, they only work when they feel inspired. They only train when people are watching. They take shortcuts when no one is there to hold them accountable. Now, when the big moment comes, when they step on the stage, into the meeting, onto the field, who do you think will be ready? Who do you think will rise to the occasion? You don't have to be the smartest, the most talented, or the most connected. You just have to be the one willing to do the work when no one else is. Because that's the real test. It's easy to work hard when you know someone is watching. It's easy to stay motivated when you're getting praise and recognition. But the real question is, what do you do when there's no external validation? What do you do when no one is checking on you? What do you do when the results aren't immediate, when the progress is slow, when the journey feels lonely? This is where most people give up. This is where they convince themselves that the work doesn't matter. They tell themselves that because no one is watching, it's okay to slack off. Because no one will notice, it's okay to skip a day. What they don't realize is that this mindset is exactly what separates the average from the elite. Greatness isn't just about talent. It's about habits. It's about consistency. It's about showing up and doing the work over and over again, even when there's no promise of immediate reward. It's about having the discipline to keep pushing when everything in you wants to stop. Because at the end of the day, your future is being determined in the moments when no one is watching. There will be times when you feel invisible, when it seems like no one cares about the work you're doing, when it feels like your effort is pointless. But understand this, every moment of discipline, every hour of practice, every sacrifice you make is adding up. You may not see the results right away, but they're coming. Because the universe has a way of rewarding those who refuse to give up. Those who commit to the grind even when the world isn't paying attention. The question is, are you willing to keep going even when no one is watching? Are you willing to wake up early, to stay up late, to push yourself beyond your limits when there's no guarantee of success? Because that's where greatness is built.